My name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as the Dramatic Otaku, and today we are reviving and redoing my room because it's a bit of a mess. Now, this entire project started as a way for me to reclaim space in my wardrobe, see Donate or Depop, but then Comic-Con happened, and then Christmas happened, and it was already kind of a mess before Christmas, but then after New Year's it was just an actual dumpster fire, and then my dad gave me stuff, and I'm just an actual hoarder too. So starting the end of 2022, that sounds cryptic as shit, but during the last weeks of 2022, I decided to start this project of completely cleaning and redoing my room because it was just getting to a point where I couldn't walk through it for multiple reasons. And yes, this does involve me redoing these fucks again. And yes, this is spoilers since I'm filming this outro after I finished my room. I did not think that through. But anyway, the most important thing this means for me is just to reorientate my surroundings while not physically moving any of my furniture because that shit is heavy and I don't have a lot of space to move it because of certain things having doors, my wardrobe. Also, just to give this area a bit more colour because I am sick at staring at the same four walls for the rest of the year. I just need a new year, a new change, new me maybe. I don't fucking know. Now, before we begin, I am a very eclectic cleaner, meaning I take on multiple projects at once and sort of do it simultaneously with other projects, but then we'll start one project, then start another one, and stop that project, and then stop this one because I have to do this one, but then have to go back to this one. That's sort of what I mean by an eclectic cleaner. So I start off very small in my journey for my aesthetic, which is this. This is the aesthetic, the vision board that I made for what sort of room I kind of want. I will be voicing over this entire video for that reason, so I don't lose you guys. I'll be doing some storytelling while doing that as well. So welcome to this journey of me cleaning my room, and I do mean journey. I had to cut down 8 hours worth of footage into the 45 to 50 minutes that you see now. I also didn't even film some of the more monotonous things that I needed to do so I could get them done quicker. So let's just jump right into this video. I started this whole project by doing something simple post Comic-Con, and I did two things to start off this entire thing, something incredibly small. First thing was I purchased a frame for this very lovely print by Gorat. I refuse to do my usual shtick of taping the back and putting blue tack on the back so I can put it on my doors of posters. Solely because I wanted to make a Ito shrine very similar to my Sailor Moon shrine, but the frame ended up being too large to fit into the pigeonholes, so I couldn't make an Ito shrine, and even when I did, there wasn't enough space to actually make it. So I just sort of put it on the top of my shelves. You'll see that later. Anyway, I didn't really need to worry about hanging it up, so that's when I decided to do the number 2 thing that I was mentioning before, which was redo my pin boards for my recent pins that I got at Comic-Con and decorate the 2 canvases that I'm using for extra pins, like my Spy Family pin board fitted with stickers from, obviously, Spy Family. Now, how does this correlate with the Gorat print frame thing? Well, I also decorated the frame with a bunch of cool stickers, also from Comic-Con. Can you tell the theme of this part of the video? Anyway, I replaced the regular, I replaced some of the pins on my regular main big pin board, canvas board, with some of the newer pins and put the others on my purple canvas, which you don't really get to see in this video that much because it's an abomination. But I did that, and I kind of just sat on my desk for about a month before actually hanging it up because, well, obviously it's the end. It's December. I had to switch. Never mind. You know what? You'll see that later. I'll get to it later. Next, for the entire things I did for my entire room was another cosmetic thing that pretty much was just a simple thing to ease me into redoing the entire room, which was rearranging the posters on my wardrobe, as I've gotten a little bit sick of the My Hero poster, which keeps falling down. And so I had to find a way to store it, but then I also had to decide, okay, what posters go on my wall because my cat keeps attacking them. So with the exception of the My Hero one, though it is kind of a victim in itself, all of these posters that are like hidden away, like, are all victims of my cat. Like, come on! Like, you can see here, it's fallen off the wall and my cat has fucking gotten to it. Because in summer, the light warms the blue tack, which causes these to slip off the wall. So, like, this one, she didn't attack because it was short enough where she couldn't attack it, but she did sit on it. This one, she did also attack and ripped up the side, which I'm really mad about because this is my tour poster, which makes me really sad. This one I bought at Happy Town K-pop, and again, it's Irene and Silgi, so I, of course, fucking want to keep this and fix it maybe in the future and put it somewhere where she cannot attack it. Then, of course, is my Dreamcatcher poster, which, oh god, it's very, like, it's so small. The damage is so small. Maybe I'll put this back up. I'll have to repair it. I do still have all the bits that she's torn up, so maybe I'll repair this one. Map of the Soul. This one is hanging around down here, and she attacked up here, and when I took it off, it ripped up the middle. So I probably could put this back into the album if I wanted to. I also can't get the blue tack off of these ones. So Monster is a battle for another day to fix, honestly. Okay, and using old laddered tights, because these are really, really cheap and like broke super easily. Like, I wore these maybe once or twice and they got all holes in them. It just means that I know it won't come out of its sheath, but like I can like rip it apart easily and get to it. And it's just a little bit of protection, and it's reusing stockings that I would have otherwise thrown away. And even now it's laddering up here. So do this, twist it. I could just leave it like this, but I would like to make it really nice and tight. Then I can use the rest of the stocking for whatever I want. Like, I could use it just to hold the thing in place. So, and there, it's covered, it's protected. You can see at the bottom, there's like kinking from when it's fallen on the floor. But I fixed it because I'm a genius. And my cat probably will try and attack it again. Well, for now, what I'll do is I will also put this in a stocking, but I won't tie up the stocking, just so that I can pull it out when I'm ready. Oh. Are you ready for the gentlest whacking of your life? Stockings. Now I have a weapon. Okay. This in a program. Haha. It's very cool. Very, very cool. But it's a little too nerdy for me. The irony of that statement. 2 posters, 1 stocking. Oh, that sounds bad. These will all go up here with all my stuff. And this has a special box, because it came in a special box. Yes, this is under consideration for what goes back on here. Ooh, those came off cleanly. As you can see, oil damage from the blue tack. Still have a little bit of blue tack here. Came off clean. Clean. Except for the oil damage. The important thing for me is to bring a lot of colour into my room, as I'm not allowed to paint or damage the walls because my family rents. This is why my wardrobe doors are covered in posters, with the exception of the bottom, because a certain gremlin likes to tear into my shit. Because if I use blue tack on the walls, it could ruin them. The things already hanging up on the walls, like my photos and paintings I've bought from street artists, are hooks that were already placed there by the previous tenants of the house, and everything else like my calendar and button boards are all command stripped. Then of course is the fact that I paint a lot of my own furniture. I only tend to paint things that I know is mine, like when I eventually move out of my mum's house, this is the furniture I will take with me. But that leaves a lot of my furniture bland, as well as the walls blank. So the goal is to rearrange my personal belongings so I A, can use the floor space in my room to walk around in and actually be able to move, and B, create as much chaos and colour in my room so that it feels as personalised as the furniture I paint, because I refuse to have a Pinterest room made of beige, white and fucking cream, with the only pops of colour being beige that pink farted on and that people slap pastel aesthetic on before running it through the gingham and Sierra filters on Instagram. No, absolutely not. That will not be my room. Turn the saturation up to 100, toss some purple, red and teal in this bitch, and blast a skate room hyperpop, and that is my eclectic looking ass vision. Note, I have nothing against people who like the very minimalistic Pinterest aesthetic. It looks very clean and it does look fine, but my room is full of bland furniture, and the walls and floors are very monotonous, that I'd like to give some grasp of personality in this room so that people don't mistake my room for an IKEA display room. There is also the fact that I started this project based on 3 things. 1, I needed and wanted to clean my room, obviously. 2, I need to get rid of a few things in my hoard of items, quite literally. And 3, my cat has fleas. Yes, for the last 2 months, my pets have had fleas. I've washed everyone's bedspreads in my house more than once. I had to bathe the cats, which was not a fun experience, regularly put flea-killing shit on their fur once a month, and it's gotten to the point where Mum has put a bug spray thing in an air freshener that usually sits over the toilets and has placed one in the front room where the cats convene the most, because my cat has brought in so many fleas that despite my best efforts to wash everything, my mum still walked in on me sleeping to find 3 fleas sitting on my face. Another perfect reason to clean this bitch. Oh yeah, also, my granddad is having all of his stuff cleaned out because he's consistently moving from rest home to hospital. We thought he's surely been done for the last year, but he is probably the most stubborn person in the entire world. Good on you, granddad. But in the mix of everything being cleaned out as to not burn him, the nurses, and my family, I somehow ended up with this really awesome side table to replace my pajama basket that I used to use as a side table. It's permanently mine, and it is massive, so I decided to paint on it. It was a little difficult to decide what to do, but I ended up spending a whole day painting mushrooms and watching the new Sonic Netflix series, then doing some emo cloud scene because I wanted to do something gothic but was too lazy after all the mushrooms. So yeah, I'm not going to do anything to the top, much like my chest of drawers, just for some cohesion. I also didn't film any of it because it was on a whim, and I'd just come back from doing something for a couple of days. So yeah. During the Christmas to New Year's week, I redid all of my shelves, like every single one, because I put most of my self-care stuff in the new bedside table, so I didn't need the whole pigeonhole. Plus, I was filming my Depop or Donate video during this time, and shit just needed to be moved around. It's around here I decided to just put some stuff in the shed because I never used it or never needed it, and or might not want it until maybe later in life, when I wanted to remember it or something like that. Admittedly, it's not the best I can do, but it is fine for now, and I have no plans for most of these, and a lot of the stuff is actually being moved out to my sewing desk as we speak, like the fashion books and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my shelves. Now we move on to my manga shelves, which I'm redoing again. Starting with the Sailor Moon one, because I decided, seeing as I no longer had a pigeonhole full of self-care stuff and wanted to have all of my books in one spot for manga that I'm currently reading or currently collecting, I actually decided to move all of my Sailor Moon pigeonhole shrine thing into that old pigeonhole, and it actually ended up looking really nice for some reason. I'm getting the first two of these, so I'm gonna have this out a little more. I'm also getting the next 4 volumes of Idle Dreams because Mum told me that's what I was getting for Christmas because it's after Christmas and they have not arrived. I've also got one more of these that I'm currently reading, so I have to have access to it. Okay, I'm tired of doing close-ups, so what I want to do is, influenced by having moved the Sailor Moon thing over there, and by the fact that I put all my Junji Ito novels and my Blood on the Tracks novel here, I'm like really, really tempted to make horror, romance, everything else. He agrees. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna do the little thing because I have to like switch between things. This is gonna stay in my currently reading, currently interested box, as in it is constantly changing. I might move Thigh High up to here, but I'm not sure at this point. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna put Demon Slayer up here as well, just alongside all of these, which might be a bad idea, but yeah, I will just see first because I have a lot of romance and I have a lot of horror, and technically Demon Slayer counts as horror because it's like blood and gore, that sort of stuff. I'm not going to put all of my horror novels because I actually have found I have a lot, but I'm going to put most of them, so this also does include Attack on Titan. See, like, I'm not gonna add like Black Butler because Black Butler counts more as dark history, and if this is some form of horror, I'm not gonna like put it there because I haven't read it yet. But yeah, so I'm going to take out my Demon Slayer novels and I'm going to see how this does, because not all the Demon Slayer novels fit into the one thing, let alone if I put it with my Junji Ito books, which are kind of constantly going on. Also, having romance finally means that like I can put Utena and Kaguya in one spot and just leave it. But it also means that most of my series, granted Book of Friends isn't one of them, but most of my like big series then like get shoved into one spot, like let alone, I think now's the time I'm gonna take out and move my order because I just got a shit ton of manga, so I'm gonna sell this too. Whoops. Well, that's getting a thing put on it. I also don't know if I'm gonna put BL with romance or like any of my big queer novels with romance. I might put that down here so it'll be like slice of life and all that shit. I'll leave up here romance, I think. I'm planning on like getting all of the Kuga-san volumes, so this will be like changing a little bit. It's just a matter of like dividing it so that I can put everything in here. And I want to make it look pretty. Obviously, Sailor Moon kind of stays here. I really like her being on Ivy's crown, but yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave her there. Horror. Demon Slayer. Woo. Didn't think this would ever move from its spot. Oh my god, look at that. Yeah, I'm gonna put my headphones back on and just get in the zone. And this also doesn't include my figures yet, which I have a lot of. Not too much of a fan of this, but it's decent. I need to figure out something, but I really, really like this. It's really cool. This one's pretty standard. It was like the last one, except I've tried to shuffle my My Hero stuff in here. I might move the My Hero stuff to over there eventually. And this one's, yeah, it's pretty plain. It's gonna get moved around a lot, so, but it's got like a little family of Pikachus. Okay, so you know how at the start of this like video I was talking about the calendar on my wall and the pin boards and all that stuff? Yeah, we've come back to this. So basically, I had to remove all the command strips that were on my wall because my calendar upsized this year. I used to have a typo calendar and now I have another Pusheen calendar. I had a Pusheen calendar 2 years ago, and I had before that another typo calendar. The difference is last year I actually put things up around my calendar, so it wasn't so easy to just, you know, switch them out like usual. No, I had to take off the pin boards, remove the command strips for the pin boards, and then put the calendar in first, then placing where the pin boards would be, and then placing where the little canvas pin boards for Spy Family and everything else was to go. Now, reason obviously calendar went first was sizing reasons, and I can't mark the walls, so yeah. And it's also the reason why the little pin boards didn't actually go up until this point. At this point, they didn't really go up until early January, maybe the first 3 days. It was one of the first things I did at the start of the year. And yeah, that's pretty much all I did for this. I had to wipe the wall with isopropyl alcohol. I also did this later with a little whiteboard and I put it on the wall right under like my little Deb photos, and I thought it was very, very cute. I also, to clear up more space in my wardrobe, added some of these really fun like hook things that I keep seeing all over like my Amazon suggested stuff when I pretend that I'm shopping on Amazon. Don't ask. But yeah, I got one of these from Daiso, but this was like the last one that I got. I can put like 3 or 4, not 3 or 4, I can put like 10 different clothing hangers on it, and it's very, very helpful. But my mum had a bunch of these in her room and I didn't know, so she gave me all of them, which was like 6 of them, and they had about 3 hooks each for extra hooks to be put onto a hook that already has clothes on it. I don't know how to describe it. Here it is. That's just visually what it looks like. I also got the these like cover things for my cosplay stuff, and specifically my cosplay stuff because I have my cosplay stuff in my wardrobe with my actual clothes. So to distinguish, that's handmade stuff, that's cosplay stuff, that needs to be protected, I put a bunch of my cosplays under these one suit cover things that you usually get for suits and etc. and blazers, and I covered some of my cosplays, not all of them, but some of them, mainly the ones that I've actually hand sewn. It's just to distinguish where they are, and I put 3 or 4 under one suit cover if they were skinny enough, like my Poison Ivy, Waluigi and Sailor Jupiter bodysuits are all under one, and that's because I only got 2, because I also got a fun Hello Kitty floor mat, which depending on how I edit this you might get to see a little bit later, but it's not guaranteed. Anyway, after that I moved on to another thing that was sort of bothering me, which was moving and cleaning up my cart again, mainly because I, in this time between these 2 events, actually like built a sewing desk that my mum got me for Christmas, and I built that and put so much of my sewing stuff that was originally in my room out there because I now had the space to do it. It's a fucking massive bench with a bunch of drawers that is mine now, so I did that too, which was great until this, my queens, kings and monarchs, is a whitetail spider. A male one from the look of it. Maybe it was a baby, I don't know. But nonetheless, my least favourite fucking spider. Fun fact, I was bitten by one of these fucks at 2 years old. Now, I did survive, and if I'm being 100% honest, apparently I didn't need any like medical care, and I like took it like a champ, in my mum's word. But it still fucking terrified my parents because I was a literal toddler. But I hate these things. They can get much larger than this, and I hate them specifically because I am always the one to find them in my family. Or rather, they find me. And they tend to find themselves nesting in my fucking room. They're not as much as a threat as, say, a redback, but I've confidently killed a redback before, but it's just whitetails look more threatening, and it doesn't help the fact that a whitetail looks awful like a brown house spider and a black house spider. The main defining thing that alerted me to the fact that this, in fact, was a whitetail was the elongated arse. Now, I mention all of this because usually when I find a whitetail, I fumigate my fucking room and leave it for a few days, deciding to sleep in the front room. And finding that one that high in my cart was extremely concerning because the buggers don't use webs, they climb shit. I didn't know how high they could fucking climb, and now I'm paranoid. And I couldn't fucking fumigate my room like normal because I was already spraying insect shit for the fleas. Not fun. This is a warning, fellow Aussies like me. Clean your room, so you don't find these fucks everywhere. And just a little update, literally 2 days later, as I'm going to make myself breakfast, I find another whitetail in the loaf of bread. I am not happy. The next step in this whole ordeal of me trying to clear space in my room was to clear some space and put some stuff in the shed that was under my bed, because I had a lot of like baby toys, things I haven't touched in years. I'd already like cleared out my books like 2 months prior, maybe even a couple weeks prior. No, not even a couple weeks, a couple days, because I'd put books in my donation bag, but I wanted to stay under my bed in two of the other drawers, the two drawers that I could access easiest, what was in them and what I could probably put in the shed. Now I have these, as you can see, they're meant to be clothing bins. They're meant to be like how you keep some clothes safe from getting like dirt, dust, all that sort of stuff on them. You'd usually put them in your suitcase. Yeah, I use them for stuff under my bed, mainly because, you know, just easy to do. But you will notice that in this footage, I also have a lot of my boxes for pops, boxes for figures, boxes for pretty much anything. I also had to sort through those. I'm still holding on to a few just because I'll use them for another video and then probably recycle them. But of course, since I was going through my drawers that had a lot of stuff from my childhood or from years earlier under it, I kind of got sent down memory lane. Look at my old phones. It's so small. Also, this was my first iPad from school. Oh! Probably could use the instructions to one of my fucking sewing patterns, couldn't I? Shit. Okay. I'm going to keep this. I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna keep these. Old DS games. I'm gonna see if I can boot up my old DS. Not gonna lie. Top Class 2019. Voices off. 21 Pilots. And I've got the thing from the actual confetti from the actual thing. I used this for a while. So you see, this here was this here. Also, I love this bag. I found it at a market when I was like 10 to 14. This is the shit. I put more bags in it. What is with me in bags? You see, I have been a box hoarder for a while. These are Mikado. I think they're like French Pocky, to my knowledge. I mean, they're Pocky, clearly. And it's Glyco, which is also Pocky, so maybe it's the French version of Pocky? I don't know. Ah, nerd glasses. This is also a time capsule. From Typo, you could get these like fake glasses and they were really nerdy. And I like wore these to school sometimes because I fucking loved them. And now I actually need glasses. I do not want nor ask for these, and I got them. So now I have them. I don't remember my lock code. 6 years and I don't remember it. Well, I've got one. Got a lock. I did this on all my year 12 books. Oh no, this is empty. I think I'll use this. In the end, what I ended up doing was completely clearing out one of the drawers that had more of the like baby stuff that I had, and I ended up putting all of my figure boxes in there, even a couple that were like product boxes, and later in the video you see me vacuuming. It also dawned on me that I'd actually put some of the boxes from Pops, from not really figures, because figure boxes can be quite fragile, but from like other product boxes like my Sailor Moon mug, my Pom Pom Pudding mug, those types of things were still under my big chest of drawers, and I did that usually to keep my cat from being under there because spiders like to sit there. But I ended up putting those on to one side of my bed so that I could easily access it, and I actually put more boxes in there when I would like flatten them and like put them into that like clothing thing. All the other stuff got put on the other side of my bed, so this was stuff that I decided to keep for memories. And yeah, pretty much that was all of that. The next stage in this whole ordeal was done over a couple of days and was kind of the last thing that I did, but also not the last thing I did. As I said, I like bounce between different projects, but this was something that really needed to be done, as the thing after this that I pretty much did was clear out my like desk. But what I did beforehand, before I could even clear out the desk, was to get rid of my TV, because this bitch has been broken for roughly 6 months. And yes, I did leave it turned off for that entire time to see if it would fix itself. It did not. So I had to get rid of it. It's like literally cannot be watchable. It like flickers every millisecond, so it has to be put on hard rubbish. But that doesn't mean all the stuff attached to it needs to be. So I pretty much spent like a good 20 minutes trying to remove all the wires from behind my chest of drawers and fighting it, despite the fact it still had all of its stuff in it, which I probably should have removed. But as you can see on my bed there, I've got a bunch of shit there, and that is because I had to do a little cleaning session. By that I mean I vacuumed. But you're not going to see that till later, because I did multiple vacuums, pretty much. But literally, I had to move this TV before I did anything else, because it was bothering me, and I could actually move some of the stuff that was on my bed onto my chest of drawers. I have to Google in Japanese, but obviously, first of all, it's water damaged. Second of all, my TV's been sitting on it. Same with, I have Beauty and the Beast in French. You're not going to see the finished product, because halfway through, I brought my cat into the room and decided to let her sit on the chest of drawers. But what I did, because I keep saying but, took off the TV, removed all of the wires, removed the antenna that attaches to my TV so I can get channels, then put all of that in the front room so that Mum can use for a different TV eventually. But the one thing that I'm keeping throughout all of it is my Blu-ray DVD player, because I can hook it up to a monitor if need be. So that pretty much stays in place. After I dust it, I also put some cord hugger things on the cord for the DVD player. I did, as I said, have to fight my chest of drawers to get the cords out of behind it, but I also had to fight my desk as well, because my desk has a panel that you can't get shit behind. Like, if I could, I would 100% like saw out that panel, but it actually needs the panel for structure. So unfortunately I cannot. Also, of note, when I was dusting and cleaning this area, because I don't dust that area all that often, I used this spray that I just fucking hate. I don't like the scent of green apples, mainly because my mum used to use it to clean out vomit buckets when I had gastro as a kid, so I used it and started feeling sick the entire time, so I had to take a good hour break from doing anything to try and make myself feel better. And that's when I brought my cat into the room. What I actually planned to do was to put this old iMac monitor onto my, or just an old iMac really, onto my chest of drawers. It's secondhand, it's from my dad. We used to have a dark blue one, but then me not thinking for my future decided to say or give the go-ahead to my mum and get rid of it, which I now regret. But luckily for me, as my dad was planning to move again, I saw the iMac and went, hey, is that where that went? Completely forgetting that Mum had gotten rid of it. And he said, oh no, but do you want it? If you want it, you can have it. So I got myself an old iMac, and I have all the stuff that goes with it. So once I have the means to, you know, hook it up, or sorry, the motivation to actually hook it up, I could actually play stuff from it, which would be kind of fun. Would it be dingy as hell? Absolutely. But I want to do that. And yeah, you don't get to see it until later, and I'm not going to spoil what I put on to the top of my chest of drawers. We're just going to get into the absolute abomination that was my desk, which I spent a good hour and a half cleaning up. You don't even get to see the full thing in this video. It's a mess, as you can see, absolute abysmal mess. But it was therapeutic to like get rid of it, and some of the stuff that is on the desk I actually moved up to my chest of drawers. I even went back through my like shelves and pulled some stuff that was like falling out of my shelves and put it on top of my chest of drawers, and I made kind of a fire hazard because I put candles there too. But that's not what we're focusing on. So here's just a little time lapse of me going through everything on this table before we get to the final shots of me finally vacuuming, and then of course the little touch-ups that I needed to do before we get to the scenic shots. And if you were sitting there going, ew, you disgusting slob, how could you let your room get to the stage? What? It's called depression, and I don't like vacuuming, and I have cats who also do not like the vacuums, and I typically use my room as a workstation because my sewing room is in a similar state because I share it with my mother. And besides, I'm doing it now. Space on the floor. I can walk around my bed. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I I just figured I needed an outro, I guess, and because I did this entire makeup look for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed me cleaning my room. I hope you guys are enjoying these kinds of videos, because all of January I'm not really going to be doing anime stuff, mainly because I've been doing school. I'm almost there. I'm always at the fucking end. And I hope to see you next Wednesday for another kind of just everyday thing. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Bye!